Okay, we're going to pick up here, and we're just going to do one example, then I'm going to give you the rest of the hour to work on your stuff. And instead of graphing this one, we're going to do -4 secant of 2x plus 2. Okay, so I'm not going to do the horizontal shift. We won't do a secant or cosecant graph with a horizontal shift. I don't think it's really necessary for what we want to do. So, yesterday we were talking about graphing secant and cosecant. I don't start by graphing secant. Instead, what do I graph? What's the reciprocal of secant? Cosine. So I graph -4 cosine of 2x plus 2. Can somebody tell me what is the vertical shift of that graph? Vertical shift. I'm just changing the problem. I think that problem is too tough for us to do right now. So I want to add 2. So the vertical shift is plus 2. What is the amplitude? Four. So if the vertical shift is 2 and I go up 4, what's the maximum value? 6. What's the minimum value? If I have a vertical shift of 2 and I go down 4, then the minimum is, if the vertical shift is 2 and I go down 4, -2 is my minimum. So I'm going to make my graph like this, where each tick mark is 2. Can somebody tell me why did I not put the 6 all the way at the top? Yeah, I got to leave space. I got to leave space. Okay. What's the period? Two pi divided by 2, which will give me pi. Divided up into how many parts? 4. Where does it start? Max, min, or middle? Why does it start at the minimum? It's cosine. Cosine starts at either the maximum or the minimum. Because it's negative, it'll start down at the minimum. From there I go up. So far, it's the same as we did yesterday, right? Here's the part that's different. I used to draw vertical asymptotes through where it crossed 0. I don't draw where it crosses 0 so much as where it crosses that axis of rotation. So if the vertical shift is 2, then I draw it where it crosses 2. Amplitude? Yeah, same thing. You always draw it where it goes through that axis. Now the ones we did yesterday all were centered around x or y equals 0. This one's centered around y equals 2. Okay, you draw it through wherever it goes through that axis of rotation. Okay, so I'm almost done. What's my last step? Yeah, I draw them at the maxes and at the minimums. That's actually a very accurate description of the graph. Very accurate. We showed you yesterday. We graphed it on a calculator. And some of you guys are like, ooh, ah, wow. Okay. So, what I have for you today, I'm going to have you guys do the following. Not that one. This one right here. Okay, I'll hand it out and I'll show you what to do. Please look at your assignment. Shh. Again, I want you to understand, as I've given you an assignment, I've given you one that I feel like will really help you out in your learning. So, for example, the very first one, you're to graph negative sine of x plus 1. It tells you to identify vertical shift, amplitude, period, horizontal shift. This is like basic day one, right? Now, if you don't know how to do that, then that's a reflection. We need to go back and learn that piece. You can see I have a basic cosine graph. As we scroll down here, you can see that I have a basic tangent graph. You can see I have a basic cotangent graph, a secant graph, and a cosecant graph. I have examples of all 6. Then on the back side, they get just slightly more difficult, okay? Here you have a horizontal and vertical shift. Here it's x over 8. Here it is 4x and I have a minus 2. So these are going to be just slightly more difficult. So the front side, if you can do those, I think you can feel confident that you can be set up for pretty good success on the test, at least a C or better. And if you do the back side, you got an A going no problem. So this is the last assignment that you will get. On Monday, I'll give you the study guide and the homework cover sheet. You'll be good to go. If you're wondering any homework you missed, every single day I post the homework assignment online. Every single day I post the video. Go away, grades. So, there you go.